Okay, so sorry if I don't sound great. I'm not feeling good. But it's been a little bit since I actually got to my actual content. Most of it has been announcements lately. I'm going to get into the art deductions again. I have a couple of segments of that started already that I need to just get out. But for now, I wanted to just get back to the stories and the tips. I asked her, and it seems like everyone wants the story first, so I am going to go ahead and tell one of my more recent stories. Okay, so there had been a time where I took about 2 years break from Deduction, and I lost all of that. When you don't use your deductive reasoning, you lose it. And that's exactly what happened to me, is I got rusty. But then a situation came up where I needed it again. And it kind of called for me to pick up the skill again. And fortunately, the good thing about the skill of deduction is if you do happen to, for some reason, forget it for a while, it does come back pretty easy, pretty quickly. And in this story, that's exactly what happened. Is my mother, she does home health work, and her client has a grandson, and he came back into the client's life again after he had been gone for some time, and he was a known drug addict and drug dealer. So people were automatically concerned about what he was doing in coming back into her life, but she wouldn't take anyone's warnings. That's where I come in. It became pretty obvious that she was being duped by him. I met him literally one time for about 5 seconds. I knew he was bad news. I could tell he was a psychopath. He was just using her. It wasn't a deduction. It was just a feeling. I knew by looking at him that he was a psycho. He was using her and he was enjoying it. And after that meeting, I knew I had to help. I had to get involved. Of course, I had no evidence. The police weren't going to be much help in that instance. So what I had to do is, one day when he was gone, when we knew he would be gone, I volunteered to help my mother with her home health cleaning. And while my mother did the cleaning, I snuck away and I did some sleuthing. I found her records. She was keeping records of the drugs she was taking, the medicine she was taking, for her own health problems. And I could tell that there was a stark difference between her handwriting and her grandson's handwriting. I mean, he was trying to forge her signature, but it was forge her handwriting, but I could tell there was differences. And then I could tell that she was missing some silverware, specifically spoons, which are used for cooking drugs. So I was suspicious of that. I also found that a lot of her drugs had been taken from their cases, so that, along with the information about her notes being faked, I could tell that he was faking her documents, saying she was taking more than she really was, or not taking as much as she was, and then he was stealing those drugs for himself so he could fund his own habit. This is when I actually did something morally ambiguous. I snuck into his house, probably illegal, and I found the evidence that I needed. He had her spoons, she was cooking with them, there were drugs everywhere. But I had enough evidence at that point to prove that he was stealing from her, that he was dealing drugs, that he was making and using drugs, abusing drugs. He'd been robbing her blind. He had several of her valuables that he had taken from her that she thought she had lost. I felt very accomplished by myself by the end of that day. I was really glad I got him locked away. He didn't stay in prison as long as I think he deserved to be in prison, but I was very proud of myself for that one. Sorry for the quality of this video. I'm tired, I'm sick, I have a sore throat. My stomach was acting up earlier. But I thought I'd get back to you with a story. I do have 2 more stories left to tell. Then I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do with stories, because that's all the stories I have. Hopefully maybe I'll find a few more mysteries out there and I'll have more stories to tell you. I do have a lot more tip videos coming out though, so that's good, and that seems like what you guys like the most is my tip videos. So I'll be glad to be able to keep giving those out. And then, like I said earlier, I have the art videos on the way. I have a few more of those actual, like applying that to art and what you can deduce from that. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned, and thank you for watching. Have a good day.